Hey there, it's Gregson. Welcome back to Shifting Lanes. Today we're talking about the all-new 2022 Honda Civic and what you need to know about this compact car juggernaut before you research it, compare it to other cars in its class, or buy it. And even if you're not in the market for one, stick around and watch all the way to the end because there's some interesting information I found when researching for this video that you may have never known before. Since the 2022 Civic is a brand new vehicle from Honda, we'll be going over everything you need to know about the 11th generation of one of the best-selling cars of all time. Things like engine type and power output, key features and tech, what's new for 2022, and finally, what it will mean to Honda as a whole. And if you're here for the Civic, we make tons of different videos at Shifting Lanes like new car reviews, other what to know videos, consumer advice recommendations, and automotive news. If you'd like to see any of those, check the description below for playlists of everything we do, or click the card above for a hand-picked video for you. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up at the end if you enjoyed it or found it informative. Now, let's get into all the details of the brand new 2022 Honda Civic. Why even intro a car like the Civic? Everyone knows the Civic in one way or another. For commuters, the Civic has been a go-to option for efficient small cars since the 1980s. For enthusiasts, Civics represent approachable fun and can be built to ungodly proportions that routinely shock supercars at the strip and on track with the right preparation. And above all, both of these audiences have one thing in common. The Civic has been cheap since forever. It really is a dual platform for so many people. Now, in its 11th generation, it's no surprise that a new Civic coming out is big news. Usually in these what to know videos on a brand new car, I'd give a bit of a historical overview from inception to now, but given that this is a brand new vehicle, we're going to talk about everything you need to know on this thing, and there is a lot of cool stuff to cover, so let's dive right into it. Many people may look at the new Honda Civic and think, that's an attractive sedan, and they would be right. The new Civic's redesign is good looking, and we'll get into this point a bit later in the video, but what many might gloss over is what has changed under the hood. Two 4-cylinder options are available for the new Civic, a naturally aspirated 2-liter or a turbocharged 1.5-liter. Per Honda's press release, both are paired with an updated continuously variable automatic transmission, or CVT, which is tailor-tuned for each specific engine. The 2-liter gives you 158 horsepower and 138 pound-feet of torque. This engine is standard on the Sport and LX trim levels. The 1.5-liter turbo ups both numbers to 180 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque. The interesting thing here is that this is on 87 octane gasoline, which is up 6 horsepower and 15 pound-feet from the 2021 model year. A lot of modern turbo cars are requiring a minimum of 91 octane, so it's nice to see that Honda has gone the extra mile and tuned the engine to be able to take 87 or regular for those that don't want to fill up with premium fuel every time. According to Honda, the turbo's improved fuel economy ratings are due to a more efficient turbo plumbing system and the addition of variable timing and lift electronic control, or VTEC, to the exhaust valves. Also, both the 2.0 Sport and 1.5 Touring trims get a Sport mode in addition to the normal and Eco modes. For the fuel economy numbers, here is a chart that outlines all the changes. Most efficiency numbers are up, with a few remaining the same. Overall, power delivery, engine sound, refinement, and EPA fuel economy ratings of both engines are improved, with the 1.5-liter also getting a boost in power output. As cars get more and more complex, lower-tier cars like the Civic benefit from having a technology trickle-down without having to be the test cases for said technology. And that's perfectly the case with the bevy of tech upgrades you'll find in some Civic trims. Before going into all of this, it's important to note how Honda did this. They're calling the new Civic's overall design ethos as Man Maximum, Machine Minimum, or M/M for short. This is Honda's attempt at using technology and design to serve the needs of the driver and passengers. With that in mind, the Civic gets some nice tech upgrades. All Civic trims have either a partial or full digital instrument display while also getting larger standard and available color touchscreens. LX, Sport, and EX trims will have a 7-inch color LCD instrument display similar to that found in the Accord. An all-digital speedometer and tachometer are on the left side of the instrument panel, while a physical speedometer dial occupies the right side. Touring models will have the all-digital LCD instrument display measuring 10.2 inches. The high-definition full-color LCD panel will display a bunch of vehicle information, which will all be customizable from the steering wheel. The LX, Sport, and EX trims also come standard with a 7-inch infotainment touchscreen, while the Touring version version gets a 9-inch unit, which is actually the largest in any Honda brand vehicle to date. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are of course standard with all trims, and Touring will get wireless charging capabilities. On top of those upgrades, believe it or not, there's going to be a Bose sound system in a Civic from factory, which is pretty mind-blowing since Bose has been known to be a high-end sound company for decades. This system will feature 11 speakers, a digital amp, and an 8-inch subwoofer on the rear deck. According to Honda, the 2022 Civic introduces multiple new active and passive safety systems, including a world's first where both driver and passenger frontal airbags were designed to better reduce conditions associated with brain injury by better controlling head motions in certain types of crashes, which is pretty impressive. Also, according to Honda's press release, the advanced compatibility engineering body structure in the new Civic has been enhanced for even better compatibility with larger vehicles. The standard Honda Sensing Suite for active safety and driver assistance technologies uses a new single camera system that provides a wider field of view than previous radar and camera-based systems. And Honda Sensing has been further enhanced with expanded driver assistive functionality. One of the best attributes of the Civic over the years has been the handling. Most Honda products have above average to excellent handling for their segments, and the 2022 Civic was engineered with this in mind as always. This Civic will be the most rigid in the car's history, with an 8% improvement in torsional rigidity and a 13% improvement in bending rigidity versus the outgoing model. What does this mean exactly? It means that the Civic will have a more capable chassis for those that want to tackle a back road, but also reduces transmission of road and wind noise for a more quiet driving experience. Getting into a more subjective aspect of the Civic, let's talk about the exterior and interior aesthetics. As stated earlier, I personally think the overall aesthetic of the Civic is great. It's very attractive, and I love how it's both modern and approachable in its design language. However, I can't help but feel like this version of the Civic is looking a lot like an Accord mashup of years past. That's not a bad thing, as the Accord, by and large, has been an attractive vehicle too over the years, but it just seems to be a very safe departure from the 10th gen Civic, which was wild, unique, and funky. Expect a low belt line, revised A-pillar placement, and horizontal windows to increase forward visibility. LED lights are the only lights used on the exterior, which include the headlights, daytime running lights, fog lights, and parking lights. Lastly, there are 3 new colors, which are Meteorite Gray Metallic, Sonic Gray Pearl, and a Civic exclusive color called Morning Mist Blue Metallic. Overall, this new Civic will attract buyers without question with its simple but punching up design. Inside, it's a lot of the same, updated and refreshed and very inviting. The M/M mantra I mentioned earlier showcases here with the aforementioned better visibility due to the redesigned windshield, A-pillars, low hood, flat dashboard, and hidden windshield wipers. The outside mirrors have also been positioned away from the windshield pillars to improve visibility. The front seats have been redesigned with better bolstering and support. A singular line moving across the middle of the dash gives both the driver and front passenger a sense of connectedness that seems to be a hallmark of many new interior design languages throughout the car world. It's an extremely clean layout and looks like a very nice place to be for short or long drives. Hopefully, we'll be able to get our hands on a new Civic to review for you in the near future once test models hit the press fleets. If you're watching this video in the future and we do get one, we'll come back and place a card above right now to click on and see our full review. Now, there is a bit of bad news for the new Civic as it relates to the automotive enthusiast crowd. There will no longer be a manual transmission offered for these normal trims and variants. And that begs the question, will there be another Type R model coming down the line, and will that Type R have a manual transmission? Yes, this debate is a bit pointless as 99% of the consumers across the automotive realm don't really care about manual transmissions anymore, especially since automatics are so efficient and in many aspects faster than their manual counterparts. But for those that do want a manual for an engaging drive, plus the rarity for resale value down the line, is an important question to ask. Will Honda make a Type R 11th gen Civic with an automatic dual clutch paddle shift only model? Only time will tell. Other than that, the 11th gen Civic will no doubt be a rock solid car for both Honda in sales and for consumers looking for a small car with a winning pedigree. With all of this being said, do we recommend you go check out a 2022 Honda Civic if you're in the market for a small commuter car or future tuning champion? That answer is absolutely yes. The Civic is always a world-beating platform, and after driving the latest gen in both commuter and Type R variants, I'm personally a huge believer in the Civic ethos: cheap, reliable, and fun. If you don't have the Civic on your shortlist for affordable cars in any capacity, you're doing yourself a big-time disservice. Go check one out once the 2022 models hit showrooms. And if you can't swing a newer model, there are still plenty of 2021s on dealer lots right now, and you can likely find some good deals, but just know that the design will be markedly different. I hope that this video does help you in making your potential buying decision a bit easier. If you want to follow us outside of YouTube, you can find us at Shifting Lanes on Facebook and Instagram, where we post about cars we review, our personal cars, and industry news and adventures. Again, my name is Gregson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.